Howdy how, folks. Welcome to episode 2, I guess it is, of Ducks in Chainmail. We're going to continue from where we started last time. But I want to introduce my new journal first, and some other small issues. Let's get rid of the background image. I have it all set up here. So this is, I got this in a Christmas present, a new journaling book. I'm going to put myself in the corner, so to say, down here. So as you can read here, it says white ducks and then ducks in chainmail and then ducks in space. And the reason it does say ducks in space as well is because I have gotten the fantastic idea that I want to run a base hex scroll also using WhiteStar, because we're using WhiteBox for this campaign. So yeah, that's a future thing. I think I will be doing a couple more of ducks in chainmail before I proceed into ducks in space. I need to get a bit more familiar with WhiteStar. One other thing I did last time was that I said I was going to use Chaos Reigns. I still am. But last time, I must apologize for last time, because I said I was going to use Chaos Reigns, and then I sort of backed out of all of the rules again. But the more I looked into Chaos Reigns, the more I like it. I actually quite like it, but you know, if it anyways, but I have still a little issue, not an issue per se, but let's dive into it. It's because in Chaos Reigns, under attacks, it says characters cannot melee the same enemy multiple times per round, but can opt to focus multiple actions into one attack, which, if successful, will deal normal damage plus extra actions. Missile attack damage can be focused with action, but missile attacks cannot be done multiple times per round, even on separate enemies. So there are two things here I want to address, because even though I actually like this rule, and I actually asked Chow Clips because I did not understand the extra actions bit here. So Chow Clips explained, the author of Chaos Reigns, that when you if you hit your target and you do your normal d6 damage, it's plus whatever extra attacks you have. So you use one attack to perform the attack, and then you can add the other as bonus damage on top of the die. So if I rolled a 3, and let's say I was hit die 4, level 4 character, I would add a 3 on top of this roll. So I kind of like that. But here we go. I would also like to be able to actually hit the target multiple times. So, and I've been looking, before I looked into Chaos Reigns. Let me see if I can find it. I looked into other chainmail-like combat rules. And let me just find it here, because it's somewhere here. Yes, here, under attacks here. Oh yeah, I should say that this is Spellcraft and Swordplay, a fantasy role-playing game. So, and a really early retro clone. It says here under attack, at the referee's discretion, characters with multiple attacks may make all attacks at once or may cycle through their attacks one at a time, with extra attacks coming as a group at the end of the round. So that's that. So in my world, I would still like to be able to somehow do that. I can see that it will be problematic, maybe, at if I would say I had a level 10 fighter with 10 attacks. But I mean, you could also cut them into minor bits. Let's say I was facing, if I was a warrior, I was facing 3 enemies, and I was level 10. I could actually do bigger attacks on each of them, use my 10 attacks that way, because you see that Chaos Reigns builds on Chainmail, but it's not entirely the same. You'll see as we go along. But I think we should jump right into it where we left off. So last time the party ended on a stone bridge in hex 0301. Up here to the left, where they met Grubert Goof and Rafina the Ranger. And together they fought the Bridge Ogre, and on him they found this Rebus map, sort of a written summon for him to join the evil forces of whoever summoned him. That is still a mystery. And perhaps I should say that Grubert's and Rafina's mission was to look for tracks or clues regarding a theft of a goblin hammer in hex 0401. There's this druidic village, and their shrine was ransacked, and they had this secret, long forgotten underground sort of sacred complex, which was raided, and in that underground complex there was stolen a goblin hammer, and the druids of the tribal town were worried because the elder druid heard of, or he remembered these tales of old, where this hammer was used to, when used to shoe a unicorn, you could turn unicorns into dark unicorns. So, yeah. So they summoned Rafina and Grubert to help them investigate this theft and hopefully stop the production of dark unicorns, because they are very powerful dark creatures. So that is this out of the way. One last thing I want to show you is that I came up with the idea for this battle grid when we have fights. So I'm going to use buttons for the characters, and can just quickly introduce the buttons. This first one up here is Rupert Goof. This next one is Rafina. They're sort of the dark buttons, and then we have here we have this medium-sized button is Sean Duck, and this little bigger button is Ida Goose, our cleric. Oh yeah, and Sean Duck is a fighter level 1, and Gita Goose is a cleric level 1. And then we have Claude, the kleptomaniac. If you watched my new intro, by the way, which is also new, I still need to finish it off a bit. It's still a bit, needs some corrections. And then we have Onyx, our magic user here. He's the small blue one. I'm thinking he has a blue robe. So this is our characters, and for opponents, for the enemies, I'm going to use lips. Could also use dice. I'm not sure. Yeah. That's that out of the way. And one last thing is that I found when using GUM, the game unfolding machine, it's it's really good. I really like it. But the verbs in the action and subject and descriptors in the Grand Oracle sometimes throw me off a bit because they're not really setting specific. So I get all sorts of answers that are hard to interpret more English. But then I figured, why not go ahead and use some story dice and story cubes instead here. So I'm going today to try and use my story cubes. So whenever I have a question where I need descriptors or some action or subject word, I'm going to, with my eyes closed, take 3 random cubes and interpret them. So yeah, that's that. I think we're good to go. So let's see the last entry in the. Let's get rid of the battle grid. So we're playing White Ducks, Ducks in Chainmail. It's day 3, nighttime, and we are in hex. Let me show it again. This middle hex up to the north, hex 0301. We are at the stone bridge, and we just encountered the bridge ogre, and we found this rebus map on him, which will lead us somewhere. And that somewhere we don't know where is. So, but now the band, the group, is going back to with this new clue to see if the druids have something to say about it. And the druids, they live somewhere in the forest in hex 0401, which I just marked over there. But we are now we've just literally entered hex 0301. So actually what we're going to do now is we're going to camp. And I'm firstly going to roll for encounters the day after, because we're right on the border from 0 to 01. So I'm going to roll for encounters during the night and the encounters during the day after, and also roll a landmark. So let's get yeah, we're making camp. The group is gathering around a campfire and getting to know each other. And they discuss who is on guard and so forth. And maybe Grubert Goof has some story to tell or something. Ooh. Anyways, do we have an encounter during the night? We do. Of course we do. Um, Interesting. So we are in grasslands. I'm going to get Sandbox Generator up. Oh. And roll an encounter. Interesting. So it's a 2d6. 5. It's a faction. Faction here. We actually don't really know because the druids are living in the hex next to this one, but we're going to roll then a faction quickly. It could be unicorns, because they would, in my world, count as a faction. But we're going to use the rules to make a faction. There's only one faction here. If there is no faction in the current hex or in the adjacent ones, roll a biome instead. There is actually one in. Oh yeah, it's still, it could be an NPC or it could be a biome. Oh yeah. So I would say that I would actually roll. It could be unicorn. It could also be an NPC. No, maybe not an NPC. But I guess it also could be. What I'm guessing now could be goblins, if the goblin hammer is stolen. Let's roll on the biome just to get some inspiration. And it's grassland. 7. Giant rats. Hmm. I don't want to regard them as a faction. I would actually count the unicorns as a faction. What I'm thinking is that we sort of what it is that we meet. Oops, I'm going to. Is that we in the setting sun up on a hill in the distance are reminded of this great all the heroes are sort of reminded of why they should take on this quest, because they see a unicorn glancing, no, prancing, sorry, not glancing, but prancing in the sunset up on a hill somewhere. And then just sort of, it's so far away, but it's still sort of looking at us, and then sort of think it's shaking its mane. And oh, it's my coffee. Mm, and then sort of branches again and gallops up, or whatever it's called, into the horizon down the hill. So we could feel this nervousness of the unicorn. The party felt it. It was sort of a cry of the wild, something like that. Anyways, so okay, they go to bed knowing that they must save the unicorns of the enchanted meadow. Okay, they go to bed, and I have already actually behind off camera. I did two things. I gave the characters what do you call it? Gave them experience points for the previous fights, and I divided treasure amongst them. And I also gave them one hit point, so they would be rested. Yeah, that was maybe a bit early if we had had a violent encounter, but it is taken care of. Perhaps we need to get so you can have a look at them again, the character sheets up. I think I'm going to do that just quickly. Here we go. That's the characters again. Yeah. So let's say it's the next day, and they travel through hex 0301. Two things. Do we have an encounter? And the encounter is at the end of the day. I should remember that. In the last hex we traveled to. Could actually also roll for it. You know what? Let's say that encounters could be in all three periods when they're walking, because you can walk 3 hexes to see which hex it is, and the forest will be number 2 and 3, and 1 will be this hex. So, do we have an encounter first of all? We do not. So that's that. Okay, but we are traveling, and we run, as it is, we run upon some sort of landmark. What is in this landmark that we run upon? Two, it's an empty landmark with a 15% chance of a treasure. There's no treasure. Empty landmarks means that this place is not dangerous or occupied by monsters and has nothing special. Instead, in addition to a possible treasure, information about the world and its inhabitants can be learned here. So, but we still need to figure out what sort of landmark it is. It's an artificial landmark. Rolling further, with some religious aspect. Five, a holy place. I think it's time to get the story dice out. Oopsie, not rolling them yet. Getting them out. Ooh, interesting. We have uh, a die. We have a key. And we have a bridge. Uh-huh. That sort of gives me an idea right off the bat, because I don't know about this, but yes, these two in connection. Okay, it's a religious place. Okay, I think that I know I did say that the that the place of the rebus then would send us to the enchanted forest. But what I think now is that it's actually here, and we just walk right into it because we've got some connections. The stone bridge and these two kind of, could be a sort of a rebus. And or the key, because what I rolled off screen last time was that in this adventure, in order to get to our opponents or get close to them, we had to have an sort of item. That could be the the summon note, the rebus. Uh, and this die tells me maybe that there is some sort of we have to do something to actually get in, like a test or a roll of abilities or something. That is what that tells me. So what what is it that we find? It's just a holy place. Let's get some new dice out here. What is this place? Okay, I got a mask. What could look like a mask or an alien, but I'm saying that it's a mask. And then I got a skyscraper, which could also be a tower. And then I found, or not found, I rolled a ring. Uh, hmm, am I getting out of this? I'm sure that the place we find is a tower. Maybe a wizard's tower even, or tower of some structure, tall structure. Um, the holy place could be uh, ah Yes, I'm thinking the spring. Now I get it. Maybe in conjunction with what I rolled before, I think that there is some sort of magic here. It's some sort of illusion because the mask is like an illusion, and um, we have to sort of see through the illusion, or uh, the heroes must see past this illusion. But the spring, that could be the illusion itself, but it's a holy place. Is it one of the two main religions in this? Because then it's not certain that it's. Yeah, it was because I rolled before. There are sort of two, you know, there's a Gita Goose's religion, the winged egg, and then there is, I don't know if it's a religion per se, but Grubert Goose, the anti-paladin belief that things can be um, a bit darker. But I'm going to ask, is it a dark religion? And it's a 50-50. No. Haha, not a dark religion. Then I'm going to interpret that this is not the place um, of the of the thieves. This is not the place of the thieves. So, but it still has some connection to the map. Maybe, maybe there was more to the rebus than the eye meets. Maybe actually in the invitation to the ogre that we found him, that he had to do some sort of task as well here, like a mission to get to the to get some sort of item, um, uh, bring an item with him, and he would get this item at this holy place. But this holy place has an illusion that we must see through. It's sort of yeah. I don't know what the illusion looks like. We're in the grasslands. Could it be some sort of waterfall or something to do with water? Maybe maybe there is a small island with a tower in a stream, but the tower is hidden behind an illusion. And the players don't know this, of course, unless they actually see it. Let's roll with that. So the ogre was going to get some sort of item in there. The opposition knew that they needed a further item inside the tower. Okay, here we go. I guess it's some sort of spell save they're going to roll. And I know that all of them, I use a 2d6 spell save. And all of them currently have 10, so I have to roll a 10. But let's see the character sheets. Yeah, I actually forgot to write something down because John Doc has +1 versus death because she's a fighter. I forgot to write the abilities down. Shame on me. Not everybody's abilities, I forgot. Yes, I forgot to write the spell saves down. Let me have a quick look. At WhiteBox. Okay, let's do this. Clerics. Saving throw. No, nothing useful there. Nothing useful at the fighter. They get in WhiteBox they get a plus. Mages, magic users get a +2 bonus on saving throws versus spells, including those from cast from wands and staves. But in my version, it's only a +1. Thieves get a saving throw +1 against traps and magical or mundane. I'm not going to say it's a trap. What about the ranger and the anti-paladin? Bum, bum, bum. +1 bonus saving throw against versus poison. And the ranger. That was weight versus poison, but the paladin, he like a warrior. I can't see a paladin saving throw. Weird. Is it just like a subclass to the warrior, so it's versus? I can't find the paladin saving throw. Anyways, I'm going to say that the only one of the characters who get bonus on his roll is the wizard. All of them are going to roll. So Let's start with Shundok. She sees through the illusion, so that's literally enough, but Peter Goose does not see through the illusion, nor does Lord, nor does Onyx. Let's roll for. Oh, sorry. Onyx is clearly sees it. Rafina does not, and Grubert as well. So after they see it, the others inform them. Look there! You have to look at it this way. Then you see it, and then everybody after a while they see the illusion. So out in this stream, there is a small island where all of a sudden they see this tower, and the tower is sort of it's a holy place of it must be of the winged egg because that's the only known religious or sort of religious what do you call it religion a religion in this setting. So is the stream or is the current strong? Too strong to swim in? Yes. There's a strong current in there. It would be impossible to swim. Maybe actually because I rolled a bridge. So I'm going to say is part of this illusion is there a magical bridge? Like an invisible magical bridge? They're looking for one. They're using some time around here. Yes, and when they walk around, there is when they walk around, they have to, I don't know, they have to stand in a certain angle or go down to the river to a certain spot, and then all of a sudden the bridge materializes in front of their eyes, like with a magical harp sound. Bling! And I rolled and yes, there's a bridge, and it's it's something. Yes, and I know, it's just a beautiful bridge, and the bridge is very beautiful. Okay, so the band walks over to this bridge, not over to the bridge, but over the bridge, to this tower, this religious tower. Aha. Okay. I'm going to ask, is the tower tall? Yes, and. You know what I'm going to say? I came up with an idea because it's of the winged egg. I think it's a sky tower. It goes up into the clouds. There you go. So, they're standing at the tower. Is there, does it look like there is some sort of, okay, it's a new, you know what, I'm going to use gun because I'm saying that this is a new scene. Roll. But I'm getting a feeling that this is all sort of, positive. There's a positive vibe here. We're sort of protected here. But still, I'm going to roll a skill test. Hit or miss test. One opportunity, else try something else. So, okay. Okay, I'm keeping that in mind. Is there a... Let's get rid of that. Is there a door or some sort of entrance? There must be, right? Is there, because everything so far has been sort of hidden in illusions. Is there a visible entrance? I'm going to say that that's a 50-50. Whoopsie. Yes, there is a visible entrance. So, back to the conflict roll I made on gun. One time roll. What is that? Is it because I have an idea. I think perhaps because we're so because I know Gita Goose has a has this winged egg, a little companion, a religious companion. It sort of I don't know, communes with the door or the building when they get closer, and Gita Goose senses this. But, however, there is a problem, because Rupert Goof's little black egg, or his companion, the dark eggling, is not allowed inside. I think. So, or is it? I'm going to say that it's likely that it's not allowed in there because of its significance, its anti-abilities. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the highest. Sorry. Is it allowed inside? I'm going to say that it's unlikely a no. So I'm going to take the lowest of the two dice. Yes. No and. No and And I think the one chance only thing is because what happens now, because this is how they figure this out, is they sort of Gita Goose opens the door somehow and walks in, but as that happens, some sort of force, and there's a sound, I think, I don't know, I wouldn't say alarm, but something like a warning sound almost. And then I think what happens is that sort of a heavenly lightning strikes down into the egg and sort of sends it off the island and out into the wilderness. And Grubert is sort of shocked, and he's where are you going? Wait for me! And then he sort of runs off after the egg. Come back! Come back! Come back! He yells after the dark eggling. I lost my goof voice, but for a sec. Anyways, so the others just sort of scratch their head and look at him going back over the bridge. From where they're standing, it looks like he's running through the air. But then Rafina just says assuringly to the rest, I think you should just let him. They've been apart before. They have this ability to find each other. I don't think the dark eggling is allowed in this secret place. So let's just proceed and I think that Rafina is writing a small note that she fires with an arrow at the roof, which on the other side the arrow lands in front of him, and the note says something like, when you find your eggling, don't come back on the island. Wait for us outside and keep guard.